Greetings and welcome back, Generals and Ladiesmen, to another exciting seat-of-your-pants episode of Exo Plays Spyro Season of Ice for the Game Boy Shizzle. I'm Exo, and this game, it's not too much to say about it, so I brought along, well, you know, I've kind of exhausted all of the solo commentary possibilities, so I brought along a couple of guests. But before they have a chance to introduce themselves, we have some voice acting to take care of here.
Welcome to my lab, Spyro. This is where I'm constructing my new time machine. Just when I was getting ready to make my final adjustments, those Rhinox showed up. Perhaps someone else has a time machine and they just appeared here from the past. Please see what you can do about them.
Alright, so introduce yourselves, kind sirs.
Alright, so I'm TGX, or Kurt, whatever you want to call me. Basically, I'm
Extreme.
the idiot. Shut up. I'm the idiot of this group because I just delayed this recording session by about 20 minutes because I couldn't figure out how to record only the desktop audio, or sorry, only the microphone audio. But that's about that's a story for another day. Anyways, so yeah, some of you may remember me from the Spyro 1 stream from a long time ago, about a year ago now, which also featured such names as Haydox and Mr. Jeb the Black Hooded Gamer. So, hello again.
Hi there.
I believe Jebsus.
And TGX also made a cameo in the crossover review I did with Jay's Reviews for Quest for Booty.
Yeah, brief cameo.
Yeah.
I'm
Speaking
ahbeef.
of which...
Oh, are you...
yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, ahbeef.
Alright. I'm ahbeef. I haven't done any collaborative stuff with Exo before, but if you are a fan of Haydox, who has done stuff with Exo before, I was recently made a cameo in his B-movie game video, which definitely check that out if you haven't already. And I also do my own reviews.
I may be a winter fairy, but even I don't like the cold that much.
I may be a winter fairy, but even I don't like the cold that much. I believe that was my audition.
Yeah. Yeah, someone else should definitely... My voice is just too deep. So, I mean, ahbeef could probably do a pretty good girl voice.
Wow, thanks.
Oh.
Thank you so much for that very kind compliment. No, I can.
Well, you know,
I think I could
me-
do Bianca, but it might end up sounding more like Allura, just because that's the voice I'm more used to. But
Yeah.
I'll do that. I can't do the fairies,
Just-
so that's too much.
Just do a girlish Millhouse, because that's basically what Bianca's voice is, because it's the same actor.
I like barely
yeah,
ever
but-
watch The Simpsons, but I'll do my best.
So speaking
if
of
I
which,
may... Oh, sorry.
speaking of which, TGX, when does this playthrough take place in the grand TGX continuity?
I have no idea. Probably somewhere between, like, probably after the full series retrospective, but, like, I don't know, I'd say about 6 months before Sly 4.
What?
I don't know.
Fuck
Oh,
this
you
game,
died.
by the way. Fuck this game.
Yeah.
The fuck are you guys on about?
I don't know. The TGX timeline is so confusing.
Is this some meme I'm not aware of?
TGX, all of his videos participate kind of an ongoing story arc. Like, the story arc he's doing right now is while he's playing the Crash games, the all-inclusive Crash Bandicoot retrospective. Or wait, no, I'm thinking of Jay's. The no-holds-barred Crash Bandicoot retrospective.
I gotta come up with a cool name for when I do Pac-Man.
Yeah, and the TGX is going up against the Social Pariah, and, you know...
You see, the funny thing is that the payoff to the story arc, it's not going to be in, like, a review, it's going to be, like, its own separate video, but you're going to see it and you're going to think, oh, well, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. So, look forward to that, folks.
I'll spoil it right now. He's basically a being of my own design based on all the shit that happened to me in 2017.
That is interesting. Very cerebral.
It's a bit hard to explain. You'd have to see it, but yeah. Anyways, let's.
I don't know.
Let's
I think I can
game.
probably figure that out. I am an avid watcher of Rick and Morty, so I do have a very high IQ. So.
You gotta keep watching those TGX reviews, Morty. I don't want to watch some Rick.
Speaking of Crash, have you done Twin Sanity yet?
That was my last one, yeah.
Oh, I gotta check that out. I love that.
At time of recording, yeah. I mean, at time of recording, I just finished the first render of Mind Over Mutant, so the entire series minus like a few bonus videos I'm doing are done. It's just I'm like releasing them over a period of time.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Oh, he made it.
ahbeef was actually kind enough to play Season of Ice and Flame for me for the very first time to 100% in preparation for this playthrough. And TGX sounded like got up to the last world until he ran into the cold hard truth. If he wants to go into that.
Well, basically, what I was trying to do, because I'd played this game before, but I never played it to completion. I didn't remember why until I played it again.
Yeah.
Yikes, it was cold in there. Thanks for taking the chill off, Spyro.
But yeah, basically, I wanted to get at least through to the final boss, and with a lot of Spyro games, in fact, almost all of them, I think, you can pretty much get to the final boss without having to 100% the game. This game, not so much, and so I kind of got up to the final world, and he died. And I saw that I had to get 99 fairies to get into the final boss. I'm like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this game enough to really justify wanting to finish it, and so I'm just gonna move it aside.
Yeah, that's all of the fairies, by the way. There are 99.
Yeah.
So actually, there are 100. You get the last one for fighting Grendor, but he is what ahbeef was really trying to say is that you need to get every fairy in every level,
including the
boss.
Speedways and their hard mode equivalents.
Oh my god! Don't even
reason.
get me started on the fucking Speedways.
Oh god.
I guess I'm the only one who has any sort of... Okay, well, we'll have time to talk about the Speedways when we play them.
Right.
Okay, so...
When you play them, I am never touching this game again.
ahbeef, I know that you had some very choice words for this game on Twitter.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. This game, I gotta say, it's a masterpiece. No, this game is one of the worst I've ever played, if I'm being completely honest.
Now, to qualify that, one of my favorite games is Mega Man Base, and one of ahbeef's least favorite games is Mega Man Base.
Well, I wouldn't say it's it's one of my least favorite Mega Man games for sure. Like, it's in my bottom 5, but
yeah.
I've certainly, having played much worse games more recently, I've, I guess, gained a bit more of an appreciation for it, as well as after watching your own defense of it. Kind of opened my eyes to the positives it has. And I did start to replay it as Mega Man, because my first playthrough was with Base, and was definitely enjoying it a lot more than my initial playthrough, but, I still ran into some classic Mega Man jank and didn't feel like redoing a stage or whatever.
Sounds like an alcoholic beverage.
Gave up.
Classic Mega Man.
Mega Man jank.
Classic Mega Man jank. Coming now in all the, I don't know, fall colors. that metaphor got really mixed.
We'll rename it to America for a month. Like Budweiser renamed itself to America.
But I don't like this game. I'd say this is in my top 5 least favorite games I've ever played, or worst games.
And I should qualify this. The reason that I brought along TGX and ahbeef specifically is because they are both avid Spyro fans. By the way,
Well done, Spyro. Now I can work in peace. I'll tell you a little secret. If this time machine works correctly, I'll be able to go back and find some of the hair I lost. So I guess I won't need this bottle of hair tonic any longer.
Some hair? You have no hair. Some would imply you have
He's
hair.
got some pretty big eyebrows. I don't know, man. That's cute. One thing before I start trashing the game, one thing I will say, this is definitely one of the best looking games art style wise on the GBA. I have a lot of appreciation for the game's visual design and art style and visual theming for levels.
yeah.
Even compared
definitely.
to something like the Wario Land games that I've been playing recently for my reviews, this was a breath of fresh air in that sense. But then, you know, actually playing the game gave me AIDS.
Yeah.
Ah, perfect. With these sporks, I can get the time machine up and running. And then it's off to track down all the hair I lost a few years ago in Honey Marsh. I've been using this as an antenna a bit. It's starting to melt.
And then he hops into the time machine.
Yeah. So, if I may just give kind of my general impressions of this game, I was thinking about
Sure.
this game, like how I would describe it. I think it's a fun game to play, but it's a really fucking tedious game to finish.
Ugh. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, actually, yeah.
very much agree.
Because
if I could skip those fucking flammable objects and levels,
Oh yeah, I totally would.
that would make this game... That would probably bump it up to from a 6 to a 7 for me. Just that alone.
I'd say that probably bumps it up from like a 2 to a 4, maybe.
Yeah, but that's still
Ooh,
pretty
some fast
substantial.
forward action, hell yeah.
And yeah, speaking of flammable objects, it literally took me 10 fucking minutes to get all these goddamn pencils.
Hey Exo,
This
wanna know
level is
something
one of the
funny?
worst levels in the game. What?
I did this my
What?
first try.
Good for you. I'm happy for you. I wish I didn't spend 10 minutes looking for these
Ahbeef.
fucking pencils.
Ahbeef.
I tell
Yeah,
you what.
I definitely wasn't as lucky with some other
please,
levels.
Smed.
Though.
Suck my
Smed?
enormous dick.
What? I can't believe this.
So that's a little joke that my friend Sean came up with when we were like 12.
12-year-old jokes are the best
absolutely.
ones.
But yeah, this is, I think,
Now
Man,
I'm
this
missing
looks fun.
exactly one pencil and I can't fucking find it. This is one of the worst levels in the game because like my top 2 worst levels in this game are Time Machine Lab and probably I died, so now I got to get all of them again.
Amazing.
And if they didn't make it so that everything resets when you die, I'd be done with this level by now.
yeah,
So I really
yeah.
don't know why they thought that was a good idea, or so basically what happened was I got so fed up with this after dying like 3 times trying to do this that I just busted out a map from the internet.
I was actually
and
just about to ask
went
if you
through them
were using maps on your playthrough for this.
all. I tried not to. I really tried not to,
I
but
tried
with this
not
level
to
I
as
just
well.
couldn't help to.
Like by around the halfway mark of the second world, I could not stand it anymore and just had to look up maps. And by the third world, I was using them alongside playing each level.
Yeah, this is me opening the map right now. And by the way, I was watching the Tenro Island arc in Fairy Tail while I was recording this, because that arc was just as tedious as this game is. So I just decided to do them both together. So if I pause at certain points, it's because I'm like fast forwarding or something on that scrubbing, you know. But Jesus, it's just like the layout of this level
Sucks.
is like so confusing.
Something
and
I want to
there, I
bring up
finally
that
did it.
definitely helped with this level for
Wow,
me.
Spyro!
Good dialogue there. There's a glitch in this game. I don't know if you brought it up in a part you've already recorded or not, but there's a glitch in this game where if you hover just as you go up against a wall, your hover will like continue moving you upward until you land on the ground as long as you're holding A. So you can use that to skip like going all the way around a bunch of places. They fixed it in Flame, but for this game, it's really useful for some of the harder stuff.
I also hit a glitch, actually 2 times, where I don't know how I activated it, but somehow I flew up
Let me
against
guess,
something.
the vertical rocket.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that
correct.
happened to me like 4 times in Panda Gardens.
Yeah. Oh my
I actually
God.
found a like consistent way to replicate it too.
It was.
It's like if you jump right into the edge of a platform. I think it typically only happens in Panda Gardens. Actually, you can actually get that. But I think I did get it in the hub world a couple of times.
I mean, to be fair,
But yeah,
it
that's-
was pretty
that's a good
funny, but at the same time, it was
Yeah,
just
it
like,
was.
how did they not get this?
Yeah, if you react wrong to that and like start gliding, you have no idea where you're gonna land. You could end up just getting fucked. By
Oh
that.
my
I
God,
was
this
fortunate
level-
enough not to.
This level sucks too.
This level is the
Spyro,
worst.
we are so glad to see
my
you.
3 least favorite levels of the
My
game.
crew and I have been up for days trying to get the Twilight bulbs turned on in the factory so the workers can start working. But these clumsy Rhinox keep busting all the bulbs. Would you help us turn on the lights in here?
Why aren't you speaking in haiku?
What do you mean turn on the lights? There are flashing lights around every platform.
Yeah, that's a good point, TGX. Those are supposed to be like the fireflies from Spooky Swamp in Spyro 3.
Yeah, maybe haiku stopped being profitable.
I didn't actually like read any of the dialogue in this game when I played through it because I didn't really care. So
Yeah, I can relate. When I was
these are
doing
going to
my
be some
practice
genuine
playthroughs,
reactions.
But
I've-
yeah, so
When I first saw that flammable object in this level, I thought it was the flame
yeah.
chest from Spyro 1, but I was disappointed that it wasn't.
yeah, so
I mean, not that those are an especially interesting mechanic or anything, but it would have been a cool throwback.
yeah,
Well, I think it was their little nod to that, actually. Because there are lots of nods. Like in Ice Age Speedway, I was showing this to ahbeef the other day, TGX. They brought back the Draclets from Crystal Glacier.
Yeah, that's a neat little nod.
Interesting. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
my least favorite levels in this game, it's this one. It's the one we just finished. And what was that? The honeycomb one. What was it called?
Oh God.
Honey Marsh. That
Honey
one
Marsh.
was like, my eyes were bleeding the moment I stepped in. And the moment I looked at the floor and saw that all the platforms were hovering, I was like, oh God, it's going to be another one of these levels.
Yeah, and then it turns into the entire game as these levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My least favorites were this one and the Hummingbird Fort, which was like the first of these kind of levels that I ended up playing.
Yeah.
It gave me so
Yeah.
much shit. I like nearly snapped my DS
That
in
one's
half.
probably like number 4 for me.
Yeah.
To be clear though, I played this on Super GBA, so I'm not sure if that changed my experience at all.
Yeah, I played this
Super
on
GBA.
cartridge and had all the same glitches you guys mentioned.
Yeah.
I've actually had
This
cartridges
is-
of this for like about a year now, but like never played them. Oh, nice gem glitching
Yeah.
inside you there.
It sure was cold in there. Thanks.
Yes, there's another gem glitch I'll have to mention later.
Oh, boy.
But yeah. Yeah, so this level has a lot of the same problems as Time Machine Lab, which is basically that it's a giant maze. The layout is confusing, not very memorable at all, because like the entire first half of this playthrough is me talking about how much easier this game got in the second playthrough when I already kind of knew the layout. But that
Whoa.
that was a glitch. I'm not sure how that,
That was
happened,
really
but
weird. That was like an upward.
you can throw all of that out the window once you get to the back half, because the layouts, the level design in the back half of this game is completely unmemorable, and that makes it so much more annoying to play. Like, I cannot stress enough how much better the Japanese got off on this game with the
Yeah.
map feature. Like, it is, and I seriously cannot understand for the life of me why they did not re-release this game in North America with that feature.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially since
Like-
it was re-released for the combo pack.
yeah. And that would have been the perfect time to carry over the map feature, but nope, I guess not.
Oh, speaking
So-
of combo packs, actually, when you looked into the GBA version of Pac-Man World for your ROR on that, did that have did you look into the differences between the GBA version and the combo card with Maze Madness GBA at all?
No, I didn't know that existed. My guess
yeah, it
is,
exists.
if this is anything to go by, probably not. And by the way, I got knocked off the platform. It's like I said, this game has like 3 or 4 interlocking flaws. One is all the levels are giant mazes. 2 is that enemies knock you off of ledges. 3 is that every level has a bottomless pit in it, except Lava Prairie. And then 4 is that you need all 99. 4 is all the flammable objects disappear when you die. And then 5 is that you need 99 fairies to finish the game. It's just like, all of those things together just reinforce each other and make the game so much worse to play than if any one of them
the
were
depth
fixed.
perception was what really got me, because it's like you can't tell where you are in relation to the environment around you, and so if you see a ledge that's like south of you, then you're not sure if you can glide over to it because you're not sure if it's high but far away or
Yeah.
close but low.
I'm actually gonna
Well, that's-
defend the game on this point because the game actually does a pretty good job of like you see this lower platform has the flashing bulbs around it, and then higher elevated platforms like these are boxes. So if you look down and you see a platform that doesn't have that kind of flashing lights, then you know it's not even ground level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was gonna
it's
say
something
the
you have to
same thing.
notice, but once you do notice it, it gets really helpful for that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And that is something I mentioned. I will mention in Sunday's part as of recording. and Hummingbird Fort. But Hummingbird Fort, unfortunately, is a level where that gets violated, where there's a platform where it looks like you can jump on it, but it's like one tile higher
it's like,
than what you can jump on.
It changes from level to level practically.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not perfect, and
it's-
I did have some depth perception issues. Nice tiling with the shadow.
Purple is my favorite color.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I found that Hummingbird Fort was the only level where something like that happened to me. Like, otherwise, like ahbeef said, you can tell how high a platform is based on the visual design, which is, you know, kudos on that to the team on that one, because it could have been a much bigger problem if they hadn't done something like that.
Right.
But good lord, the level structure in this game is absolutely
It's not
abysmal. And
intuitive.
it's just like,
it's pretty awful.
I played. Yeah, it's like I said, with the first half of the game, besides like Hummingbird Fort and Honey Marsh to a lesser extent, you can. Like, I feel like when you play Panda Gardens, for example, you can kind of get a feel for where everything is.
Yeah, Panda
Because
Gardens has like the rooftops, so you can like see where everything is in relation to that.
And then you have a level like Market Mesa, where it's kind of built into like 3 islands, you know, and then you can kind of look at that and be like, okay, I kind of know where everything is. But once you get to the second half of the game, it just becomes a mishmash of random floating platforms and shit to grab.
I mean, even
And it's
starting in World 2 with levels like Hummingbird Fort, it kind of nosedives, but it definitely gets a lot worse starting in World 3.
Yeah.
I actually found
It's
World
like,
Fort to be
God.
not as quite as bad.
Yeah,
But,
maybe like Dusty Trails.
Maybe I've just
and,
gotten used to it by that point.
Yeah. God.
Oh, nice.
And
right next
by the
to
way,
the
you gotta
thing,
love. Yeah, you've got to love how
Thank you, Spyro. I was afraid no one would find me inside of that thing.
you got to love how you're just minding your own business playing the level. Suddenly you kill the last Rhinoc or flame the last wheel, and suddenly you
Oh
get
my
teleported to a
God.
random part of the level, and you
That
have
was
no idea how to
awful.
get back to where you were.
Yeah, that
Like,
happened to me so many
good.
times.
Good God, how did they fuck that up so bad? Because it's like you play
they made
Season of
this game.
Flame. When you play Season of Flame and you flame like the last hay bale or something, the firefly just pops out of the hay bale you blew up last.
Right.
Why
or
couldn't they
they'll,
have done
at
that?
the very worst, they'll tell you, now just go back to see whatever random NPC, and
Yeah, it
then
completely
you're good,
disorients you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I usually
Yes.
will like pick up gems or whatever if I'm like in this situation. But that's the situation where you have
Wow,
two
Spyro, thanks.
of-
With the factory all lit up. No, I can. Why did I do that? Why did I skip through that? He's
Now-
talking about how all the late night shift works have turned him into an insomniac. Get it?
Oh yeah, clever reference.
Oh God.
And I died because fuck this
level.
game.
Well, you
And
didn't have
here's the
anything left to
thing.
do in the level, did you?
I think. No, I still have some gems left. It's probably the chest. And
Oh god.
you know, with like
Okay,
the
so
first.
you were in a situation where you had the last of both of the flammable objects and the main mission, right? So there was no way you
yeah.
could have avoided being teleported and have to going back. Just
Yeah.
out of situational shit. It's dumb.